You already know what time it is, man. We're opening the floor to all of you. Come on, speak live. Whatever it is that you want to talk about, come on right now and do that. All right. I appreciate everybody that's in here right now. If you haven't already, hit that like button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you've also liked this engagement, go ahead and subscribe. Yeah, he was somebody really high on Sean Taylor. He's still on the table for Sean Taylor. He didn't, and this is somebody I saw somebody in my mentions last night. Well, those teams weren't good. Hey, when you are a player personnel guy or an exec in that way, you can give all the advice in the world. But if they don't draft a guy that you really like, then they just don't draft him. Like, you don't have any say over that. When you are the GM, then yeah, you could draft my guy. So he was standing on the table for Sean Taylor. They were actually going to go a different route. I believe it was Kellen Winslow, who was he was a terrific tight end, but obviously didn't have the same career trajectory as Sean Taylor, RIP. I actually played with Kellen Winslow. He wasn't weird. I don't know what's going on now. But here we go. We got the people rolling in right now. So we got Isaiah coming on first. Isaiah, what's good? And Isaiah, you from the 209? Where you from in the 209?
Yeah, you're not gonna call it a real 209. I'm from Merced.
Oh yeah, it's not real 209, but it's still 209 love, So it's all good, man. What's on your mind?
Yeah, my thing is with all the people saying Trey Lance isn't ready yet. My pushback would be just look at how Jordan Love came out. It wasn't great. He's been sitting behind A-Rod, a couple of years already. Arguably one of the best quarterbacks to ever play. So, my thing is, like you always say, like, how do you know, like, Trey Lance is not ready as compared to some of these other guys?
Right. And I think the tough thing is, and I want to make this clear, what works for one guy or what doesn't work for one guy might not be the same for the next guy, right? So we see guys like, Justin Fields progressing. Maybe Trey Lance wouldn't progress, right? Like, hopefully he would, and that's what you would expect guys to happen the more they play, but you never know. So I don't want to just say that just because something worked for one guy, it's not going to work for the other, but we clearly see a guy like, Jordan Love, who has sat behind Aaron Rodgers for over a year now and finally gets an opportunity to play. And it looks like he still has to go through some of those growing pains of, having his first start. So, yeah, man, I agree. I'm going to get the next person on, but I appreciate you coming on, Isaiah. Keep repping that 209, baby. All right. Here we go. Next up, we got Matt. What's good, Matt?
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, my bad. I had my phone in my hoodie and stuff when I was listening. What's going on, man?
Oh, man, I'm just chilling, man. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. Chilling, man, myself. Shit, man, what you think about, the direction? I'm pretty much like done. I want to start all over, man. You feel me? Because, like I said, I don't got no confidence in what this dude talking about.
It's tough. It's tough to just hit the reset button. And I don't think the 49ers have to hit the reset button. I think they just have to reload. You know what I'm saying? They got to reload the clip. It's almost like we done emptied out all our clips and we just got to reload, but we're going to keep shooting. You know what I'm saying? When I look at the 49ers right now, they have the pieces, whether it's with, Kyle Shanahan or with other. I think that their roster is good enough. It just needs somebody to come in and get the best out of them. And I think, a scenario that you could point to is, the 2009 season with Mike Singletary, where there were good players on that roster. Right? Nobody was looking at that roster as like a Super Bowl caliber team, but you had Jim Harbaugh come in and just get the most out of everybody. Get the most out of Justin Smith. Get the most out of Patrick Willis, who, obviously he was terrific already, but just get the most out of all the players and Alex Smith and really turn that whole thing around to where they went from a team that was just like, okay, they got some good players. We'll see what happens to, damn, Super Bowl caliber team the next 3 years. So I don't want to say we gotta just blow it up in a sense of like just being like in a rebuild situation, but just get the right people in place.
So what would you do if we bring, of course, we don't fire him. He come back next year and it's the same bullshit, Trey regressing, Like, you think, I mean, what is it going to take for people to actually look at the reality of the situation and you know, I don't understand. Like, I do, you want to give them a chance and everything, but I mean, shit, I kind of want to see like how far it's gonna go because like I don't see it getting no better no time soon, man. Like I said, man, I want to see my team do good, but like I see he's losing the locker room. You know what I mean? And that's not good when your players don't got confidence in you as a coach. It don't matter what go down. You know they gonna lose on purpose just so they could get out of there. So I
Right.
don't
And
know,
I'm
man.
gonna get you off, Matt. I appreciate you calling on. I'll answer that last question. Uh, I will say the one thing, I don't think anybody's gonna lose on purpose because I remember. Okay, you know, I always talk about it. I don't know where my ring is. My daughter took my ring. Probably lost championship ring, hella diamonds. All right, but I won a championship with the San Jose Sabercats, and the head coach was tough. So I do want to say there's not one way to win, but if you are going to be a certain way, you have to win. Does that make sense? So you can be a hard ass like Kyle Shanahan and go about things the way that Kyle Shanahan does it and his approach to it. But if you're not winning and he's going about it that way, it starts to wear on guys. We had a guy, Coach Darren Arbet, great coach, Coach San Jose Sabercats to multiple championships. When I came in, like it was championship or bust. Like that was the seat. Like it was just like we are trying to win it all. We're going all in, right? And that was everybody's mindset. And you know, he was very kind of militant, I guess you could say. Like, I mean, we're professionals getting paid, and I was getting paid decent money. All right. Like when we had walkthroughs, you don't talk, feet behind the line. Like it was so, you know, every rep after every rep, you have to sprint 10 yards after every play or whatever. That was kind of our conditioning within practice. All right. It was everything was very particular and to a certain extent. And I was miserable that year. Like it was the most miserable year I had, but we won a championship, right? So looking at Kyle Shanahan and how he does things, not everybody has to be like, and I talk about my time with the Jets and Rex Ryan. Rex, great players coach, amazing, X's and O's, amazing, master motivator, amazing. And he had a certain level of success, right? And, you know, but it don't have to be that way. It could be Kyle Shanahan's way. But if you are going to do it Kyle Shanahan's way, you have to win. And if you're not winning, it starts to wear on guys because you need everybody all bought in. You need them bought in. And if you're doing those things and you're not winning, what are they kind of buying into, especially this long into his tenure? All right, here we go. We got Aaron. When this team finally makes the switch to trade, the players will have a better sense of direction and they will be able to focus for. I agree. They'll know where they stand. They know what's going to happen. And again, I want to make it clear. Just because they eventually go to Trey Lance does not mean that he's going to change the current circumstances that this team is in. The team isn't going to automatically go from a team that's, you know, 3-5 and losing to all of a sudden you go to him and all of a sudden you're just winning all these games. No, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. The biggest thing that you want to look for is progression. But like you said, they'll know what's going on. They'll know where this team is headed, and it'll give them something to be confident with moving forward, and not just for the players, but for the fans as well. All right, here we go. Got my guy Doughboy on. Doughboy, what's good, boy?
What's happening, man? Top of the morning.
Oh, top of the morning, man. Good morning. Good morning.
So yeah, first things first, I just feel like this whole locker room is just poison right now, man, and it's just sad to see. I can't never remember when the Niners was like this. I remember we was doing bad, but not like it's just it's just too much, man. Like
I think what you're saying right now is, yeah, it's we don't understand why it's this way, right? Like in previous years, even with Kyle Shanahan, you can understand it. Like you can make excuses for him and whatnot. In the years with Chip Kelly and Tom Sula, it was just like, oh, this team kind of sucks. They had a mass exodus in 2014. I think that
right,
kind of gets overlooked in the demise of the 49ers in the fall. Like Harbaugh that last year had a bad locker room. Obviously, the dynamics between Harbaugh and Jet York was really weird and bulky. That whole thing was just a disaster. After that year, everybody left. And you can see that, like, damn, we suck, right? 2015, damn, we suck. 2016, damn, we suck. And you can I think when you look
facts.
at those situations as opposed to right now, it was easier to understand why. Right now, and I think I'm hearing your frustrations right. We don't know why we're so bad, and that's probably the frustrating thing about it.
So check this out. So it's like I'm checking out all these players when they get on the mic, right? And two things that stand out to me. One is everybody's still behind Jimmy. Two, they really don't respect Kyle like that. Like you know, the coaching is the first thing that they throw under the bus whenever they get asked those questions as far as, why are you missing out on this play, or why did you misread this, yada yada yada. Oh well, we wasn't prepared. We wasn't, he wasn't coached on that. And so I can see it to where it's like they almost feel as if my boss is an idiot. Like, what I'm saying? Like, this is our king, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell? Like, and it sucks too. I want everybody, please go watch that Colin Kaepernick in black and white, because I can relate. I'm from San Jose, but I graduated class of '04 at Stag, and I played sports, only black running back, all the, you know what I'm saying? So I've experienced those situations on the 99 every weekend. I know what that feel like, that discrimination and all that, and then to be looking for that approval by a white man, as he says, right? And it's like I'm looking at Trey, and I'm like, damn, like he damn near going through that right now. As far as, but I'm not saying Kyle's racist or nothing like that. What I'm saying, as far as he's looking for
But
that
Kyle feels
approval,
like
and
it's the
Kyle was like
prototypical
that.
quarterback, right? Like, because that was Colin's thing, right? Where in high school at Turlock, it was they were looking for the prototypical guy. Like, what does the prototypical quarterback look like? And it didn't look like Colin Kaepernick. And right now, what you're
Right.
saying is Trey Lance maybe doesn't look like the prototypical guy. So, it's like, well, we're going to go with this now. But the only difference is, I'll say, and which is a big difference, Kyle handpicked Trey Lance. So maybe he does want to get it to where it does look more quote unquote prototypical, and whatever that means. But
And see,
I would say
I
that's
I,
the difference where, Colin was
I
someone who's like, hey, I
understand
want
that
to play
much, right?
quarterback. Yeah.
See, I understand that much, right? But still, Kyle is the type of person where it's like he'll bash you to the public. Like, look how he was bashing Jimmy all through the spring. I'm thinking Jimmy was gone. I'm telling everybody, like, yeah, it's over with. We're gonna get yada yada yada. The next thing I know, now it's a, summer camp dual battle, whatever they call it. You telling me Trey was the best for 2 days, and then after them 2 days, what happened? Like, you know what I'm saying? You start making it harder on him. Now then, when he went in there and played and we all think he did great. You want to jump on the mic and, oh yeah, it wasn't perfect. I seen some things, and it's like, come on, man. And you got him running a whole nother offense. Like, you're not even being. It's like you're not really being fair to this dude like that, to make him feel like you're going to do something for him in the future. And that's how a lot of
Right.
us feel. It's like, are you really going to get rid of the staff? Like, because don't have him working with the same staff that Jimmy had. Please don't do that. If anything else, please don't do that. But yeah, I know you got more people to get to, man. But I just wanted to get that off my chest, man, because it's all on Kyle, bro. And it's like he looks miserable. He looked like he knows that he knows it's his fault. He know it.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, thank you though. Thank you though for your time, man.
All good. All good. One thing that our guy Joe Boy said that kind of resonated with me too is, Kyle and his handling of Trey Lance, and how, maybe some things weren't good enough for Kyle Shanahan. And if you kind of go back to was it Mike Silver article where he's talking about it, right? And he's like, Trey Lance started off hot, and they're like, okay, like this dude's on fire. Talked about Matt Mayoko, who Mayoko, he ain't gonna say like something just to say. And he's like, dude, this kid is much better than what I was expecting to see. He's playing at a very high level, but every day in the media, when Kyle Shanahan's asked about it, what does he do? He downplays it, right? Oh yeah, no, there is no quarterback controversy. No, there is no quarterback battle. No, Jimmy Garoppolo is our starter. And it's tough to know exactly what that did to a young Trey Lance who is putting his best foot forward. He's going all in. He's making plays. He's doing this. The teammates are seeing it. And Kyle's like, nah. And I think when you see in Mike Silver's article where he's like, Trey Lance, he lost confidence. I wonder if that alluded to it. I wonder if that was something that made Lance lose confidence where it's like, damn, I'm doing everything right. I'm making the explosive plays and I can't get no reps with the ones. You know what I'm saying? And then when you do, it's like, oh, I get one rep with the ones. So when it comes to Trey Lance, maybe kind of, some confidence. And again, I don't know. This is just me trying to read between the lines. I wonder if that handling had any effect on the way that Trey Lance ended up ultimately kind of losing his confidence. And again, I mean, I didn't see that on the field. I thought he played confident, but it's probably tough going into a battle where it's just like, I just know I'm not going to start because the coach is saying I'm not. And again, I don't know the ins and outs of all that, but that's how it came across. My guy Ben, what's good, man?
Hey, can you hear me, Croc?
Yes, sir. I got you. You still got that mustache?
All right. Yeah, I do, man. I'm just recovering from a little sickness right now, so I probably look like crap. But no, I just
No,
wanted to no, thanks. I wanted to talk about something today that I've been kind of thinking about for a little bit. That I feel like the worst part about this kind of organization and front office and the big mistake I feel like they've made is self-evaluation, I don't feel like they've been able to, at least since 2019, look themselves in the mirror and be honest with what they're seeing. And I feel like that's maybe slightly ego driven by Kyle, probably a little bit by the front office. And I've come on here last few weeks, and Croc, I told you before about how I feel about the rest of the organization, the front office. So I'm not going to get too into that, but I think for a guy like Kyle to kind of still have this attitude that he does, where he's never wrong, and it's just the same old. Like you were talking about, 2017, 2018 earlier, right? How like even in those years when they were losing, you could justify some of the losses, and you could even point to things that were positives, and you could say, hey, look,
right.
in 2017 they were close in all these games, and they were like, one score games a lot of the time. And I don't know, it seems like they haven't been able to look honestly at their roster since they went to the Super Bowl, and they've been trying to replicate it ever since. And I know that's what people said going into the season, but I just think the franchise needs direction right now, and that's what I feel like there's a real lack of. It doesn't really feel like there is any direction with this franchise right now, even though there is like a path for the future with Trey Lance. They haven't really bought into that, and I don't know. I'm disappointed in Kyle more than anything, Croc, because I feel like we just have such higher expectations for him.
And I think that's what people are hearing in my voice, right? It's not that when I look at Kyle Shanahan, or I think about Kyle Shanahan in theory, I think that he's a terrific coach. I think that he's the right guy for the job. The results haven't been that. And then the way that everything has kind of transpired this year, where maybe they overestimated, and I see a comment here, right? Appreciate the contribution. Shanahan said yesterday that the Niners' top 3 picks weren't brought in to start right away, either overestimated his current team or overestimated the draft picks. And I would say to that, I think, because most people, you look at it, your first round pick is going to play. But when your first round pick is a quarterback and you have Jimmy on the roster, I get it in the sense of him not having to start. Now, your guard, you draft a guard second round and your starting guard is Brunskill, I would assume that the expectations are for that guard to come in, because drafting the guard second round, that's still high. Obviously,
it's crazy, Croc. Sorry to cut you off,
go ahead,
but like
go ahead.
I've been getting into the draft. No, I've been getting into the draft more recently, Croc, and like I'm super interested specifically in what positions get picked in certain rounds, what areas people select them in, and for the 49ers to take a guard at that spot and then just put him on ice. I'm sorry, it's utterly ridiculous, and it's laughable. The crazy part is, Croc, like I think about 3-4 weeks ago, I was just looking over the draft class, right, and I was looking at all of the guards taken after Aaron Banks on day 2. Every single one of them had played besides Aaron Banks up until that point, and most of them had gotten at least like 60, 70, 80 snaps. So it's not even that like you're not playing a guard in the second round, right? But then for you to select a guard that high, and for the rest of the guards after him or centers to actually get playing time. And this is a guy you won't even dress. Like, it's insane. And it's just really frustrating because, like I said, I don't understand the direction of the franchise. Like, if you're gonna take a guard in the second round with a guy like Brunskill there, you have no good reason not to start him. And like with them saying, "Oh, we didn't bring in our top 3 picks to play right away," I, I hate that answer. I mean, I know not every draft pick's going to be ready, but to have that kind of attitude and mindset towards your first 2 days of your draft class, like, it really shows me that this team was trying to build in 2 directions. They were trying to build for the future. They were trying to build for the present this offseason. And when they tried to do both, they kind of epically failed. And I mean, it's I don't know. I kind of wanted to end on this, Croc, and I was, you brought this up right before you brought me on. So I'll just make this quick while I end off here with
Yeah, go
Trey.
ahead.
I think the thing right now to me that's the most annoying thing is that uh, with Kyle, he's gonna the hot seat's gonna keep getting hotter. Like, I don't think he's gonna get fired this season necessarily, but I don't think he's doing himself any favors. I mean, that's obvious. But the one thing that could actually get the fans off his back, that could get media back on his side, the one thing that could actually help out Kyle's case and get this, whatever funk this is and however people feel about him right now, like, if he had just been playing Trey and they had the same win-loss record and Trey Lance was progressing week after week and looking like a potential, future starting, really like good caliber quarterback, I don't think people would be even close to as upset as they are now, because it's all about Trey. And that's what I always come back to, Croc. That's what I felt like all offseason, is that, when you drafted him, when you did what you did, it was always going to be about him. So for them to just
Right.
keep putting this off, like, I, I, I think for Kyle's own self-preservation, he's got to play Trey at some point. Like, I really think, like I said, I don't think he's going to get fired necessarily, but if he actually is interested in keeping his job for the long term and trying to, you know, uh, trying to keep the fans, the front office, Jed in his good graces, like, get Trey playing and get him rolling with an offense that looks like it has a future to it, right? And instead of this Jimmy
Right.
Garoppolo offense, which we know exactly what it is. Like, Jimmy's playing fine. In fact, Jimmy's probably he's playing really, really good right now for what he is. But with ultimately, it just doesn't matter because we know Jimmy's not going to be here next year, and it's it's always all been about Trey Lance. So I just don't understand, just for his own self-preservation, Kyle not playing Trey.
So I have a question for you before you hang up.
Yeah.
Why do you think the 49ers are losing?
I oof, that's a great question. Um, I think they're losing because, first of all, I think they have zero leadership on this team. I think you look at what happened since 2019. They lost Robert Saleh, Richard Sherman, gosh, I'm Joe Staley, DeForest Buckner. That was the entire leadership council of the 49ers, I feel like. And I feel like when you take that away and when you try and plug and play those guys and then you just try and rinse, wash, repeat, like, I don't know what other expectations people can really have other than this, because I feel like that's what this organization did, is they're like, oh, they kind of downplayed certain aspects of what worked really well for them in 2019. And then, I don't know. I guess, like I was saying earlier, Croc, I feel like they've just misevaluated everything, and that's why they are where they are now.
Yeah, that's tough, man. Hey, Ben, real quick,
Yeah,
let everybody
sorry.
know, because you are involved. No, you are involved in the 49ers content creator space. So let everybody know where they can find all your work.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Croc. Yeah, I'm on YouTube. You can check me out. I'll be streaming a lot more these upcoming weeks. Ben Meyerson, that's my name. But you can just find me on Twitter at by Ben Meyerson. I'll drop it in the chat in a minute, and yeah, just go give me a follow. I'll certainly keep people entertained.
All right, sounds good, man. Appreciate you calling in.
Thanks, Croc. I appreciate.
All right, here we go. Next up, we got my guy Ryan. But first, I kind of want to elaborate a little bit more on the super chat right there, where Shanahan said yesterday the top 3 picks weren't brought into play right away, either overestimate his current team or draft picks. And he didn't just stop there. I think he kind of, talked about Ambry Thomas, Diamador Lenore, those guys as well. And I'd say I understand it, but then I don't. I think there are two guys that from that class you would expect them to start with where they were taken. One, Aaron Banks, for sure. A guard, and Ben talked about it. All the other guards that were even just taken after him or before him, they're all playing. Aaron Banks is the one guy that's not. All right. You expect a guard to come in and start, period, especially when you draft him second round. That's kind of high for a guard. And then when you trade up multiple picks to move up to draft a running back, which they drafted Trey Sermon, running back, especially in the third round, that again is a guy you are expecting to play. You expect him to come in and start. Now, let's say Elijah Mitchell is just better than you expected. So he's the guy. And I get it. I'm really liking him each week. I think he grows as a runner. Watch him in the passing game. He's doing terrific. If you want to say like Elijah Mitchell is going to be the starter and maybe you could have flipped the picks or whatever, great. But to not even have Trey Sermon active, to not play him at all, to have him so disgruntled that he takes all his stuff off of social media and doesn't want anything to do with the 49ers, like that's you're doing something wrong. You're doing something wrong. And I don't know if it's Kyle. I don't know if it's the position coaches, Bobby Turner. I don't know who it is, but they're gonna have to figure it out because there's something going on here. And like I said, I've played for a coach that had that tough, like hard-nosed mentality that like made you feel real uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? I played for that guy. We won a championship. If you're winning, then nobody will complain. I was miserable, but we're winning. I'm getting paid good money. All right, whatever. But when you're losing and that coach is like that, it starts to kind of wear on you guys. It starts to wear on guys, and it starts to, guys just start kind of, man, I don't need this. I don't need this. So Kyle, he can stay how he is, but he's going to have to start winning some football games. The head coach is psychologically damaged goods. I think that might be it too. And you hear some people talk about how his dad was, and I saw the Jake Plummer thing, and we did see his dad win the Super Bowls. His dad, come on, man, he coached Hall of Famers, right? He coached Steve Young. He's an offensive coordinator. Like, yeah, Steve Young's hella good, right? He's been learning from Bill Walsh, right? They've been winning. So he was the offensive coordinator for the 49ers in 94. They won a Super Bowl. Okay. He ends up winning, I believe it was 2 Super Bowls with the Broncos, right? And it's like, well, I got John Elway, who had, I believe, didn't John Elway go to, no, that's Buffalo. I'm trying to think that John Elway go to previous Super Bowls. But anyways, you win Super Bowl or 2 with John Elway, another one, Hall of Fame quarterback. So, but when you hear how Shanahan was with, who was it? Jake Plummer, and how Plummer was like, his heart, like it just wore on him. And it was like, man, like I felt like nothing I did was good enough for Mike Shanahan. And after time, it just kind of makes you lose confidence. Same thing we've heard kind of a little bit from the whole Trey Lance situation. So Kyle's going to have to figure it out. And I think when you have somebody that, I see somebody, Terrell Davis won the Super Bowl. He's definitely a big time contributor. I think when you have somebody that maybe is a little bit more seasoned that can handle it, I think Jimmy Garoppolo, I think he's lost. Now he's an 8.5-year vet, 8-year vet, whatever it is. So he's able to play through some things. But I think Jimmy Garoppolo is another one where he necessarily, I'm pretty sure there were times where he felt like maybe the coach wasn't necessarily behind him and that nothing he did was good enough for the coach. And kind of threw his coach under the bus a little bit, saying, hey, I just do what the coach tells me to do. All right, here we go. Next caller. I got Ryan. What's good, man?
What's good, Crocker, man? How you doing this morning?
Oh, man, I'm good, man. Thanks for being patient.
Nah, you Gucci. First thing, you know Brian Baldinger, right? So
yeah, of course.
Brian Baldinger was on the KNBR 3 years ago before he went to the Super Bowl. And the 17 and 18 season, he was saying, this is why I don't like how Shanahan's starting off early in his career. He said they turn the ball over too much. too much they turn the ball over. Like their plus minus in turnover ratio at the end of the year was like 11 the first year and then 8 the next year. Super Bowl year was like +4, which is decent. But then since if you update the stat, they're -44 right now. That's like the second worst in the league over the last 5 years. He said it 4 years ago. The sign of bad coaching is turnovers plus minus. And we consistently have been bad. Therefore, there's something going on with the teaching. There's something going on with who he has helped teaching personnel groups. And it also has something with them not understanding what it is that we're going to consistently do, the details, the minor things that we know. If you keep the turnovers down, you usually will be in games or be able to win games. That's the first thing Baldy said. The second thing was this. They had Lorenzo Neal get on there. He said the same sentiments. And he also said there's something wrong in the inside of their locker room with the players being able to know how to say players coach players, almost kind of hold each other accountable. He said the issue with that is because we get the draft. How can you say we're trying to win this year, but then the players you draft sit? And then they see players who probably was good for the team to add depth get kicked out for roster spots for players who not even playing. So you got players who want to play this year looking like, God, dog, you say you want to win. We have players that y'all say we're not even going to allow to play on the team that could help us win. And then the players that you say that we're going to draft as well ain't going to help us win either because they got to sit to get experience. That's causing issues in the locker room because Kyle don't know how to communicate effectively because he's double-minded in the things that he's trying to do, which leads to a bad team, a bad locker room, which we see the product where we always saying, well, dog, how they're losing? Because there's so much indecisiveness that's going on, man. And Kyle has the freedom because he has that one Super Bowl team that keeps giving them passes. And that's a really big issue with our personnel grouping that we see. Everybody mad at D'Amico Ryans. Dude, he was missing 2 starting safeties, a starting cornerback, a starting DN and D4 who they pay a lot of money for, another starting linebacker who they pay a lot of money for, a defensive tackle who they pay a lot of money for. Guys, you're going to start getting ran through on the defense end as well. And then you got an offense that don't consistently make third down conversion. We're still 29th in the league in third down conversion. So, I mean, come on, man. This dude playing with his hands behind his back. Our offense can't score touchdowns or they turn the ball over. And then when I finally get the ball back, I'm over here playing with needle and thread, and it's wet. And it's about to break any second now. And we can't get no type of pizzazz, no type of swag or anything. So there's a multitude of things that's going on with the Niners right now. And this is why we see what we see on the field. Bad product.
That was a great call, especially, talking about the injuries on defense, because I do think a lot of people, they look at the defense right now and is not playing as well. It's kind of looked at, and I talked about it, with the game plan of D'Amico Ryans. I thought the last couple game plans weren't good, right? Versus the Bears or versus the Arizona Cardinals. Like, whatever he was expecting, you could tell that the team did the opposite and he didn't have any answer for it. But there is something to say for really not having certain guys out there, not having your 2 top safeties for however everybody feels about Jimmy Ward or Jaquiski Tartt. Those guys could do certain things in coverage that Hufanga and Tavon Wilson just can't do. And, it does hurt to have to play a, Josh Norman instead of having Jason Verrett out there, right? Like, and it's one thing to have a guys miss a game or two because they're banged up. Also, another thing when it's like, damn, I lose my best corner first game of the season at a time when the 49ers were up, 41-17 or whatever it was when he went down. So that's a great point to kind of talk about the defense. And at this time, it's more of what I was expecting. The offense has to kind of carry the defense through this transition. And right now, like you said, with the 49ers being 29th in the NFL on third down conversions, it's just not happening. And again, that's on Kyle because he's the offensive innovator. He's the genius. He's this. He has a healthy offensive roster, but for whatever reason, things just aren't clicking, man.
And one more quick thing. One more quick thing. I was hearing guys who was at the game, right? They were saying not how you can be at the game and you watching the sidelines, the body language, the energy, the more like there's nobody over there that is bringing and galvanizing the team together. You know what I'm saying? it's kind of like if something goes bad, it's like, it's bad. And then it's kind of, people just keep on walking. You don't necessarily see the top players or the captains coming, getting the guys together like, hey, man, we had 2 fumbles. It's all right, but look, it's early in the game. Let's get together. Let's really go forth and push, the issue. Let's rally, behind we are what 8 and we lost our last 9 home games. Like, come on, guys, let's not give up. Let's keep on pressing. We kind of like start to sulk, you know what I mean? And I think that's part of the head coach too. Like, how to say the team takes the identity of their leader, and the best thing for the 49ers would be on Monday night, put Trigger Trey out there on Monday night and watch that crowd go bananas, win, lose, or draw, and we'll begin to change the tide.
Hey, Ryan, real quick, Miss Debbie asked, what was your Twitter? Do you have a Twitter account?
Our twins. I got 2 sets of twins.
No. Do you have do you have a Twitter account?
That's it.
2 sets of twins?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Put that in the chat. And then, so when you get into the chat, put that in there. Then we'll get everybody to follow me because you have great insight.
All right, man. Thank you, man.
All right, appreciate you. Hey, by the way, they were calling you Black Jesus and they were calling you Ricky Williams. So just so you know. They said you look like the Black Jesus on the wall, in the black folks' home, that picture of Black Jesus. They said you look like that.
It's Christmas time too. Look, it's Christmas time too.
So now you're Santa Claus. All right, man. All right, Ryan. Appreciate you, dog. That was good. And that was good insight. That was a good caller. Miss Debbie, thanks for asking for his Twitter account because that was something I never thought to ask for. But definitely a good, insightful caller. So I always appreciate those. And here we go. Should be the last caller of the day. Yo.
Yo, what up, man, dude? I was dying right there because I did not know what the hell he was talking about. He said, I got a pair of twins. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Yeah, I'm like, nah, man. I'm like, no, what's your Twitter account? He's like, yeah, that's my Twitter account.
Yeah, I was just lost. But either way, all right, great callers in general. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ask you, what do you want to know? You want to know the conspiracy theory that's going around in all the Twitter spaces, or do you want me to say the obvious that's been since week 1 of this team that everybody's now finally okay with saying that Kyle Shanahan's the problem? Like, which one do you want? Just pick.
Let's start with Kyle Shanahan's the problem. Wait. First, we've been fairly critical, as we should be, of Kyle Shanahan and the whole operation that's running right now. But before we get into some more criticism of Kyle Shanahan, the head coach, can you tell me one positive thing that you like that's going on with the 49ers right now?
Yeah, I can. I guess you could say some of the rookies, such as Mitchell and Jalen Moore. I like his play. I think that, there are good rookies. In my opinion, there are overrated rookies on this team. I think Hufanga is one of the more overrated ones. I don't hate him as a player. I just think he lacks too much talent to play that strong safety position. And it was evident whenever Colt McCoy threw that 50-yard bomb to Christian Kirk. There you go. And to me, I was just like, everybody was trying to defend him in the Twitter spaces. But, I understand, though, because he's going to be people's favorite because he is good at some things like in the box safety play. And he's very good at tackling. He's very good when you tell him to do something within the box. He's very great at it, in my opinion. And I think there's some good traits about him that I like. And there's the lack of talent that I hate. So whenever people tell me that, we want to replace Jaquiski Tart with Hufanga, I'm just like, I'm not comfortable with it personally because I think that Hufanga just lacks that talent. There's nothing you can do to improve him in his talent pool. However, can he do things pre-snap to get in better position? Can he do certain things that I don't even know about that to make sure that Christian Kirk play, is a little bit better challenge? Maybe, but I don't want to take that chance because let's just say that if we're in a Super Bowl in the AFC side, you're going up against Stephon Diggs, you're going up against Tyreek Hill. There is not a realistic ability that he has that can stop that. In my opinion, if they were to ever look at that on your defense, they would see that as a weakness. They would exploit it and they will kill you. and I get it that people want him to be this Troy Polamalu Jr., but I'm not buying it. I like him as
Troy
a player
Polamalu
on
was
the
a
team.
4-3. And that's the difference. So you do have people you have people in the comments they're asking, what do you mean? Yeah, whether in the comments they're asking you, what do you mean by he lacks talent? And you're not saying that he's not a talented football player. You're just saying that from an athletic standpoint, which in the NFL right now, especially a game in space, you do need guys that have big time, athleticism from that standpoint, right? Like the speed, and not big time, but good enough speed, right? Like even me, I wasn't, first of all, not Hufanga. I was not any of these guys, but in coverage, I had enough speed. I wasn't a speedster. I understood my weaknesses. I had enough speed. I think when you look at Hufanga, that was one thing that I pointed out, and we did a full film breakdown on here, and it was like like an hour long. So if you go back to like right after the draft, you'll see it. The biggest thing was he was always a step, not always. A lot of times he was like just a step off, like just a step from being able to make a play, like a step from being able to make like that tackle. You could see sometimes where just the lack of talent, as you say, but overall athleticism made him maybe miss out on a play that you would have liked to see him be able to make, or maybe Tart would have made that play, or Ward would have made that play. So I think, and I was saying this, I wondered what teams, if they can start to single him up and put him in positions and start to scheme against him, what would it look like? And I think on that 50-yard play, we saw that. Or on the screenplay where our guy, the running back.
You're talking about, our running back or theirs?
No, the Cardinals.
James Conner?
That had cancer. James Conner. On that big play, look who's chasing him. It was Hufanga. He had no chance. So that is one thing where just that overall lack of talent, as you say, but athleticism, I think that's where it kind of hurts him. But you wanted to come on here and talk about some other things, and you were talking about Kyle Shanahan. So we're going to get to Kyle Shanahan and then go ahead and get to your conspiracy theories on social media.
Okay. So as far as Kyle, breakdown of Kyle. Well, I'm just surprised that it took everybody this long, honestly. And I'm not saying that I hate people for being more positive than I am, because, I remember when I called onto the show a while back, everybody was still iffy on giving up on Kyle, which is fine. It's not to sit here and say that you guys don't have that right to wait to see more turmoil before you could finally give in to say, all right, I think Kyle Shanahan's a problem, which is fine. I think that, Kyle, to me, it's evident that he's not going to get better with us because of a few things. One of them is because of decision making. He is terrible decision making. Like, let's just think of him as a coach, right? He can play design. He could play design like a badass, right? He's like one of the best play designers out there. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter about your play designs if your play calling doesn't resonate with it. And not only that, but if you have the wrong personnel in there, such as Jimmy Garoppolo, what's the point of me giving you praise? At the end of the day, you could design up something, and if Jimmy's not going to throw to someone wide open, then who cares? That's your decision to put Jimmy Garoppolo in there to begin with. And I'm not saying that Trey Lance will fix everything, because this team has more holes around the board than just the quarterback spot. I'm just using that for an example. But why trade up for Sermon? That's
my bad. Somebody said his decision making is like Westbrook.
Hey,
that's funny.
Might be worse. Surprisingly.
Yeah, but go ahead.
But hey, it's true though. But yeah, I just think that Kyle is just a terrible decision maker all over the board when it comes to drafting, when it comes to player personnel, when it comes down to just play calling in the wrongest moments, and I get it where someone like Jack Hammer said that, we couldn't run the ball more than 10 times because we fumbled twice, right? And to me, it's just like, well, you would have a good point if you had a different quarterback right there. But if you have Jimmy Garoppolo, you can't afford to run it only 10 times. You can't do that because Jimmy's not the kind of guy to put the team on his back and put you back in the game. He's not that kind of guy. So I get it where Jack Hammer was saying that, you can't run it more than 10 times because we had to catch up with the passing game. But the problem is you don't have the quarterback to come up with the passing game. You don't have that. So Kyle, what's going on, dude? You don't understand how to run the ball. When you have to run the ball. You can't just tell Jimmy to throw 40 times. And you know, it's just embarrassing that this is our guy that people still believe in. And don't get me wrong, if you believe in, fine, I will agree to disagree. But at the end of the day, he shows you more than enough decision making and pouting like a damn baby in the pressers, where this guy will never get better, people. He's 41 years old. He's not going to improve on himself. He just isn't that kind of guy. He is who he is. Until he gets fired, until he learns from some, you know, some ass whooping in a way, you know, metaphorically speaking, then he ain't going to change. He has all this power and he doesn't see himself as a problem whenever he's in any presser. And that alone tells me that I'm giving up on him. I'm done with him. And as far as him with Trey Lance, I can care less. Some people say give him 1 year with Trey Lance because, you know, he deserves that right. I don't think so. You're not even utilizing him right now. And Jimmy's a liability. So that's just how I feel about that. And then the last thing I'll say with the conspiracy that I want to get your answer from, right? Because this is going crazy in the spaces. Okay, so you know how Kyle and John are stubborn to trade Jimmy away, right? Like they want more for him, pretty much. So the conspiracy theory goes that whenever you look at Kyle in a game and you see that he's mad at Jimmy, he's pissed at Jimmy, he wants Jimmy to do things that he can't, he's just always frustrated. It is said that Kyle, because he couldn't trade him in the offseason, someone above him is telling him that he has to play Jimmy because we're spending $27 million for him and you couldn't trade him for what I wanted in the offseason. Do you think that that's even a possibility? That someone told him, if we can't trade him for this much in the offseason, you better play him the whole regular season because I'm spending $27 million on him. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's definitely something that, I mean, at the end of the day, there's always going to be some sort of roster politics, right? Now, first round, you know, number 3 overall pick quarterback, like typically he's going to start in a situation or get worked in fairly early. The only offset is when you have a quarterback like Jimmy Garoppolo who has played and won games for the 49ers. The big holdup is $27 million sitting on the bench, which I think a lot of people have an issue with that high up, right? So I don't know if that's necessarily like the reason as to why that's going on right now. I think it was more so about Kyle truly feeling like Jimmy was better off starting because he can run the offense. Like he just had faith in him being able to run the offense efficiently and effectively. Mm-hmm. The issue is the 49ers aren't winning. And it's not because of Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? So we could talk about Jimmy and first let's talk about what Jimmy is and what he isn't. Jimmy, yes, more times than not, is going to be somebody who doesn't lose you the game, but doesn't win you the game, right? And what I mean by doesn't lose you the game or doesn't win you the game is games like the Arizona Cardinals game. It comes off as he did everything that he could do, right? Like that's how it comes off. Like this is not on Jimmy. And I agree. It is not on Jimmy why the 49ers lost. But there is another side to that to where some players are able to elevate their team in certain situations. We've seen Jimmy do it a couple times, right? Like the Saints game where things just kind of broke his way a little bit and he was able to kind of overcome some things. It wasn't all him, but it was a situation where 49ers needed him to play at a certain level, and ultimately he ended up being able to kind of get them there. Now, there was a 4th and 2 pass. He just threw the ball to Kittle and he ran for 50 yards. But anyways, or the Hail Mary where Emmanuel Sanders threw the DB down and caught the ball, and you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
but anyways,
yeah.
But you can look at Cardinals games from 2019 where I think both times Jimmy Garoppolo ended up playing at a really high level, right? But I think the issue with Jimmy is he typically doesn't play above the X's and O's, and we've heard that term kind of be thrown out there a lot, right? And that's what I mean. Like, if things are clicking, Jimmy's typically efficient. If you need Jimmy to make multiple plays and multiple big throws, he's probably not going to be that guy, especially if it's not there. Now, again, point to a game against the Rams where it was he had to convert on 2 3rd and 16 plays or whatever. And he converted on both of those. And that was big time. And I would say if we got more of that from Jimmy Garoppolo, we probably wouldn't be upset. Matter of fact, if we got more of that from Jimmy this year, I think Jimmy would, people would be chill. But I think right now, he's not really helping the 49ers win games. He's just also not the reason why they're losing. And again, I don't want to come off as somebody that I see like the terms thrown out there all the time about Jimmy's sexuals or something and Jimmy haters and stuff like that. Like, I don't care about any of that, dude. Like, it is what it is. Like, this situation is what it is. I like Jimmy. I know what Jimmy is and what he isn't. And I think he's a fine quarterback. But in a time like this, you need somebody a little bit more than fine. And I'm just not sure that's exactly who he is.
Yeah. The only thing I blame. Okay. So I'm going to be honest with you. I hate Jimmy a lot. Now, but that isn't to say that I'm biased about Jimmy, right? I'm not biased about him. I'm not biased. Okay.
Why do you hate him?
Okay. I'll personally say why I hate him, right? When we signed him, right, we expected him to work on his mechanics. He didn't do it. We expected him to put in the effort in the playbook, such as we see like Trey Lance. We don't see that. And there are people that are open. Well, because of the reporting over the years. You never heard of this guy being the most studious person like Trey Lance right away. What? I'm not saying that they had the iPad efficiency thing where they could tell us, but I'm just saying we never have got a report of this guy working so damn hard. We never, and maybe he was, but at the end of the day, his mechanics don't show it. He never worked on those mechanics. And in fact, why all of a sudden the Trey Lance comes here, now you're mobile in the pocket? What happened to that the previous 2 seasons? Like injury, it took Trey Lance to come here. And then not only that, but it took Trey Lance for you to try to throw deep balls in the pocket after practice. What is going on?
He said he's willing to do those things, but Kyle Shanahan, that he just does what Kyle asked him to do. That's what Jimmy said.
I know, but for me personally, as a quarterback of the Niners, I think that you have to improve on yourself before I buy into you. I've seen the same Jimmy, if not worse, over time with him. And he has to learn on those mechanic issues that he had. I mean, he still has them. He's throwing off foot. I don't know why you can't get that. Like, I'm not saying for you to be Joe Montana and Steve Young because that's unrealistic. That's very unrealistic. And it's not fair to set someone up like that. However, there are things about Jimmy that I just felt like he was never fully in. And if he was, right, if you say he was, then it's Kyle's fault to begin with to use him as an excuse for these losing seasons. He uses him as an excuse for the losing seasons, in my opinion. And Kyle is the number one, in my opinion, most hated person right now to me on the Niners. Jimmy is a limited quarterback. He's mediocre to me, and I don't believe in him. Like, it's not to say that he's a bad person personally, but I really think that he's the biggest cancer to ever come in my viewing of a Niner quarterback. He takes all the money. He doesn't work on the mechanics. He'll smile after a bad decision. He doesn't look like he has a chip on his shoulder. You could learn from Tom Brady and you could watch Tom Brady. But at the end of the day, you're not a dog like Tom Brady, bro. And that's what I hate when people, whenever he throws an interception, they give him the excuse, oh, he's going to come back harder. He's going to come back stronger. He's smiling on the sideline when they say that. And to me, I don't even know if he cares when it's not to say he doesn't, but it's like, I don't think he cares enough. He's smiling on the sideline whenever the announcers are saying that, right? Personally, I don't hate him for an unbiased reason. I hate him for my reasons. Let's just say the last game, right? The last game, he wasn't the number one reason why we lost. He wasn't. But the people that hate Jimmy unbiasedly, they will say that he's the reason why we lost that game. I don't believe that. Jimmy, to me, he wasn't the worst reason. He just isn't the quarterback to put you back in that game, right? I don't think that's a bad thing to say. He just isn't that kind of quarterback. I'm not going to hate him for that. He wasn't the reason why we lost. But if you look at the Bears game, it's something different. I will give him the credit there. But the previous, oh, hell no. That Colts game was terrible. But either way, Croc, thank you for your time. Thank you for your platform. And shout out to BD Peacock and the Built Bars. Everybody have a great morning. Make that money and spend time with your family, man. Everybody have a good one.
All right. All right, appreciate you. And everybody enjoyed that. That was good. That was good. That was entertaining at the very least. I like when people speak their mind, and everybody that's in here, we got what 350 people watching right now. I'll give my opinion on things, but I love hearing your opinions, your perspectives. I'll never tell you that y'all are wrong. I might challenge you on certain things just to help me maybe understand a little bit more. But that was a great call. And he definitely challenged Kyle Shanahan. He definitely challenged Jimmy Garoppolo. And, I like that. And they've been two guys that have gotten a lot of passes. But that was good stuff. But we got one more guy coming on, and he wants to kind of go at some guys here based on what they're saying about Talanoa Hufanga. So here we go. Let's hear it.
What's up, Croc?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not even because yes, Hufanga didn't have the greatest of game on Sunday, but I mean, people see one play and start going crazy like this is not our guy. Everybody loved him at first, right? Everybody like, oh, Hufanga starting. Oh yeah, we're excited. One bad play, he's not the guy. He needs to sit. And I'm mad because what? I don't like when people say cliche things like he lacks talent. I need you to expound upon it. Now you expounded upon it for him. But what do you mean lacks talent? We all knew he lacked the athleticism. We knew he wasn't the fastest safety out there. His best parts of his game was playing with instincts and stuff and getting there first. Crop.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Hufunga's a rookie. We got to let rookies be rookies and make mistakes. Tart made a lot of mistakes in that Colts game, matter of fact. Missed tackles, overran plays, and I've seen Tart give up touchdowns multiple times. But, Tart is not – we don't go crazy like, Tart is not the guy. Come on, man. It's a rookie. Let him have his mistakes. Everybody's getting on Aaron Banks, right? Aaron Banks haven't played, but they're getting on him. People get on Trey Sermon. Like, none of these people let these rookies grow. Let these rookies have mistakes. It is okay for a rookie to have mistakes. Imagine if Trey Lance was playing right now. Everybody wants him to play. His first 3 interception game, they are going to go in on Trey Lance. That's just how fans are. But we got to calm down with this. You see a negative play, he's not the guy anymore. And let's talk about Tart. Tart has
Hold on, real quick on Hufanga. Hold on, real quick. Someone said not being fast enough isn't a mistake.
Okay, like what is that supposed to mean?
What he's saying is you could talk about maybe like a mistake here and there from Tart or whatever, but what he's saying is Hufanga, like he's just not fast enough. So like that's not a mistake. Like that's not something that he can just fix. That's what I'm assuming.
Well, no. Okay, okay. So speed is not everything. You can have a fast, strong safety, but they may not understand the game and they're gonna suck. Speed is not everything. You got Hufanga based off of instincts, based off of smarts. Let him learn. Because Croc, once you're comfortable in the defense, once you know what an offense can do, you'll be able to be there first. Football is not always about speed. It's about being there first. It's about technique, alignment, assignment, technique. It's not about speed. Speed doesn't do it. Speed doesn't do anything for me unless like you talented and you got speed. Then that turns into Troy Polamalu. I don't know why everybody had this whole mindset that he was Troy Polamalu. We said it on tons of occasions. I said it in spaces. I said he's not Troy Polamalu. Don't even think about that. He's not that, but he's somebody who's always around the ball. He's going to make plays. He's a rookie. Again, I got to say, he's a rookie. He's not going to always make the play. He's not going to always be the guy that y'all think he can be in his first year. He's a 5th-round pick. Let the guy grow into the position. And again, let me get back on Tart. Tart is never there. Tart misses at least 4 to 5 games a year. That's who he is. That's what he will always be. We don't want him anymore. He's done. We can't keep relying on players who's always hurt. year after year, hurt, year after year. Again, we've seen multiple occasions. Croc, can you confirm? You've seen multiple occasions where Trey has given up plays.
Yes, I can confirm.
Against the Colts, he literally missed. I believe it was one of those zone read plays, whatever. He missed on it, whatever. They scored. I think it was one of those. It was something. The coaches wasn't happy. The coaches were not happy. They set him down, and then he got hurt. Okay, whatever. Coaches want to see Hufanga play. Hufanga played very good, I believe, when he came in versus the Colts. I mean, he did. You know, they almost got him on one play. The second game against the Bears, I thought he played really good. He started out well against the Cardinals. He had a tackle for loss, I believe, or close to it. And then, they got him on that play. I mean, it happens, man. It happens. Yeah. Let rookies make mistakes. If Trey Lance plays, and this is what I'm scared of, if Trey Lance plays and he doesn't play well, this fan base is going to eat him alive.
Well, they already did after the Cardinals game, and I thought he played well, like in the Cardinals game.
Oh,
and it was like, it was like, oh no, he's not ready, But I read off the stats when we first came in here and compared his stats to Justin Fields, and just imagine if maybe the Chicago Bears listened to the outside noise on even Justin Fields, right? We're seeing him progress. We're seeing even Fields progress.
Even after the Bucs game, right? If I didn't watch that Bucs game, I would have thought Justin Fields was terrible, right? But then when you watch the Bucs game, because I watched it, I said, dang, bro, I feel bad for Justin Fields. He's surrounded by a bunch of lack of talent. He's got a right tackle who it was a backup right tackle who was literally getting obliterated. He had receivers dropping balls, tipping balls, and the Bucs picking off everything. I think he had like 2-3 interceptions that game, sacked 5, 6, 7 times, and a fumble. And yeah, this fan base would have destroyed him. And then you had the 9-sack game. You had him not even getting over 60 yards passing. We would have been like, oh my God, he's a buzz. He's this, he's that. Well, look at him now. Look at his last 2 games now. That man is special. Trey Lance can be special. Hufanga can be special. He cannot be special. There's possibilities, but let rookies grow. That you know what? That's gonna be my new Twitter header. Let rookies grow. I'm out of here, Croc.
Hold on, they want to know what he already checked out. So he checked out. He got out of there quick. His Twitter handle it's like Roscoe's. Hold on, I'll tell you right now. Hold on, because I have it. It's Roscoe's Mister. So that's his Twitter handle. So it's hold on, I'll type it right here. Roscoe's Mister. That's his Twitter handle. This was a good show today, guys. This was good. I thought it was productive. We talked through a lot of things. I'm hoping we can move to more positivity. All right, now I'm going to start throwing into some fantasy aspect of things, all right? But again, I appreciate everybody coming in here this morning. Went a little bit over how long we typically go. We usually go an hour and a half if you guys are new to this. If you like this show and you feel like you learned something from it or you just heard good conversation, we're live here every morning, 6:30 a.m. Pacific, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and notification bell if you like what you heard today. All right, but I appreciate everybody that contributed to a great show. Underdog Fantasy, download the app, promo code Crocky, that's CROCKY. Great app. I'm not going to go through the spiel of it right now because we've been on here for a long time, but just know once you download it and you put in my promo code, you're going to love it, especially if you like gambling on anything, player props, over-unders, all that good stuff. Get to they got this rivals thing and all that. So Underdog Fantasy, download the app or go to the website underdogfantasy.com, promo code Crocky. But until next time, man, I appreciate all y'all. Love all y'all. See y'all tomorrow morning. Peace.